You know, looking at the clock, I realize it's been a little under 24 hours since I've been home, and we're doing this. First of all,
Open for business. Strangers in the night, exchanging glances.
thanks Charisma for the follow. I know it says followed for some reason, but I'm pretty sure that was because of Shattered Steel, which I do want to do again. For now, though, I am going to get into JAFAX 2026.
The clues were clear. An army of enemies was moving to attack Mage Alguin. Would our heroes reach his chambers in time? And would they be prepared for the rebirth of the great and ancient evil that awaited them there?
Probably not. So, as is often the case with these, my trip started on Thursday. I was driving from my home to Grand Rapids, Michigan. But along the way, I was going to make a detour and stop at a place, I think it's southwest of Detroit, to meet up with somebody. And it did not take long for the trip there to become a convoluted mess. There was a lot of construction I encountered, which slowed everything down. And there were a couple of points where I and everybody else was diverted off of the highway or state route entirely. Now, the only time I've had that happen before is when there was an accident that involved someone getting seriously injured or killed. I really hope that's not what happened here. I just know that that's the only time I've seen that happen. So again, hopefully not. Let me see. I've really got to get back to that Adventurers Guild. Because to get rid of this chain, it's barring me from making more progress. And I don't think it's actually possible for me to backtrack from this point, so I might just ride it out. Anyway, along the way, I stop, like I said, just outside of Detroit. And I meet up with an old/longtime friend of mine. Name's Russ. He's in my chat sometimes as a Zesty Scrub. And I hung out with him and his wife at a nearby mall for a little bit, which, frankly, I needed. Because, given the weather that was happening at the time that I was driving there, it was kind of hot, which normally wouldn't be an issue, except I was driving in a car with no air conditioning. Which means that for the entire drive, I was going with the windows partially down. I got very acquainted with the sound of wind for approximately 6.5 hours. So after I have that meeting with Zesty Scrub, I head straight from there to Grand Rapids, which is more or less straight across the state of Michigan. And along the way, there's... I don't know what is going on with billboards in Michigan, but I saw some strange ones. The one that stood out in particular to me was there was a picture of a doctor, and right next to him were the words, "Implants, $687.
Speak. Here.
To which my thought was, implants for what exactly?
Time to hide.
Yes?
Oh, nice critical.
Ready when you are.
Command me.
Oh, hey, voice. Thanks for coming. Now here's where I say something that's probably going to piss some people off. One of the billboards that I saw on the way to Grand Rapids said something to the effect of, "You're getting close. Bucky's, 444 miles."
On your word.
Now, God.
Here.
So here's my thing. I have never encountered a place that I have never had any first-hand experience with that I have so much disdain for as I do Bucky's.
Yeah?
First of all, the mascot or logo for Bucky's, it looks like a character in a Cuphead game that would backstab the main character and then you shoot the shit out of it later in the game. Second, you have a Bucky's billboard for a Bucky's that is over 400 miles away. That is asshole behavior, and I will not encourage it or stand for it. And before somebody says it, no, I do not go to Sheets. I know there's apparently something between those two for some reason, but no, I don't give a shit.
What?
I just think Bucky's is annoying. My tune will probably change when I end up actually going to a Bucky's at some point, but for now, Bucky's, you're on the shit list.
Ready. Now what?
Ready.
I'm gonna then meditate.
Command me. To victory.
It's tempting to throw up a shield now, but I'm not sure who would get attacked. That's my problem.
What should I do? Ready, I suppose.
Ah, fuck it.
On your word.
What's that stuff?
Okay, that's problematic.
Yes?
Good critical. So I'm still going. I'm on my way to Grand Rapids. I get a little over halfway there, and I'm really starting to feel the heat. As you might expect, considering my car didn't have air conditioning. So I make a stop along the way. Now, the important thing to note here is we're, like, on the western side of Michigan, which is closer to Wisconsin, which makes it far more likely you're going to encounter a certain, quote-unquote fast food chain called Culver's. There's actually one out near where I live, and they're apparently putting in another, but all you need to know about Culver's for now is they have frozen custard treats that they call concrete mixers. So I stopped, I got a water and a concrete mixer, and that powered me through the rest of the trip. Oh, damn, 2 criticals? You know what? That's fine. So we make it...
For orders.
So I managed to make it to the hotel, which... Okay. I park in the parking garage. I actually end up getting a spot very close to the skywalk between the garage and the hotel, which is not, like, in the same building where the convention is, but there is a skywalk leading to the convention from the hotel. I'll get more into that later. So I get into the hotel, and some of the first things I see are, for one thing, it's like the whole hotel is in sepia tone. Just that color everywhere. I come out on the second floor, and I can see these, like, fancy glass chandeliers, these big canvas paintings of old people. And I'm thinking, I am in the right hotel, huh?
Yes?
Ready.
And yes, I was.
Here to serve.
Damn it.
What?
I'll go through space. I meet up with Casey, and some other things happen, but the important thing is we get to that hotel, we get checked in, and we get in the elevator and go up to our floor. And we were not expecting what we saw when we stepped out of the elevator, because we come out. First of all, there's this giant mirror to the right of us. And then we start noticing the wallpaper going along the hallway. It's black, and there are these white, ethereal-looking chandeliers printed on the wallpaper. Like, did we end up in a Haunted Mansion hotel, or... And at that point, I look back at the mirror, and I'm like... If we get too close to that, are our reflections going to pull us in? Because, like, the tone was so off in this hotel. The room itself, by the way, completely normal. But the hallways, and the hallways were dark, too. Because the lights were covered by these, like, translucent, like, piss-colored light covers. It was really confusing. I'm not sure what exactly they were trying to do.
For orders.
On your word.
At your command.
Here.
Command me.
What should I do?
Ready.
Now, another important thing to note is I brought drinks and snacks. In fact, I brought, like, a thing of waters. And because of what happened with the previous trip to PAX, I brought a 12-pack of Cherry Coke because I was not taking any chances.
Cheers, friends.
So we get all of those drinks into the refrigerator, which we had a hard time finding. The room did have a refrigerator, but it's not immediately obvious where it is. They have these 2 chests of drawers. And one of them, it still has like the outlines for drawers and the handles, but it's a fake door. You try pulling one of the handles, the entire thing swings open and reveals the refrigerator.
Aye.
Command me.
Good, good. So, once I get a chance to like breathe a little bit at the hotel and like get some drinks in the fridge, get some snacks set up, we head out to meet up with some friends of Casey's. The thing is, Casey was there, and some developers of a visual novel that Casey is helping out with are there. And they all met up, and we're going to head out. And we all end up going to this bar. And,
I don't know what the hell he's thinking. What? I don't know what the hell he's thinking. What? I don't know what the hell he's thinking. What?
oh, thank you, Zero Master, for the raid, and thank you, Guitar Princess, for just being you. I'm not sure why the message got held, and I apologize for that. But you actually came at a surprisingly opportune time. Just give me a moment to explain, because I just mentioned Casey and I go out to this bar with some of Casey's friends / coworkers. Now here's the thing. It's a gay bar. And for those of you who don't know, I'm not gay. And not only that, I'm straight edge, so I don't drink. So, me being in a gay bar, I'm basically doing everything wrong. But I will say that, like, aside from a pride flag here and there, and some of the music choice being specifically from songs that have, like, gay themes or from gay artists, it was mostly just a bar. You're the most asexual straight I know. I will take that as a compliment.
On your word.
I mean, there's one person who knows how right or wrong that statement is, and that's my wife. So ask her. Now, I will note, while I was there, a discussion broke out about a particular kind of drink. One that's primarily Chicago-based, but they had it at this bar. It's something called Malort. And apparently it is a drink that is shit. I see Guitar Princess saying, "Dear God, no," in the chat. That tells me all I need to know. But, it's apparently a drink that is shit, markets itself as shit, and still sells. Now, I will say, I am never drinking Malort, because I don't drink, period. However, I may get some of the posters advertising Malort, particularly the one that says, "These pants won't shit themselves." Because I feel like that would be a great bathroom decoration.
Ready for orders.
I think I might just have this character sidestep that. That seems more efficient.
Ready when you are.
Command me.
Okay, so once we're done at the bar, we pile into a couple of cars. Casey and I end up back at the hotel. I go upstairs because, like, I didn't really have anything at the bar. I didn't even ask for a soda.
Ready.
But I figured, like, I'm just going to get back to the hotel room and I have sodas that have been waiting in the fridge. So I'll be all set. We get back to the hotel. I go to the fridge, and the fridge has a temperature readout on it. When I left, that temperature readout said 42 degrees. We get back, I swing open the cabinet, and the fridge says 60 degrees. So apparently the fridge just shut off. And all of my drinks were at more or less room temperature. And that was the point where I started trying to figure out, why did that happen? Now, I will note that on this fridge, there is no direct temperature control thing on it. There are two buttons on it. One that says Quick Chill, and one that says snooze. I have never seen a snooze button on a refrigerator until this point. And I don't know what it is, and I don't know what it did because I didn't press it. But I did press the quick chill button, and it's not a quick chill button. I press this button and I just stare at the temperature on the fridge. And it's not budging, it's not budging. Oh, it went down 1 degree. Not doing anything, not doing anything. Wait, it went back up 1 degree. Why did that happen? Not doing anything. Okay, the quick cool light went off. Better press it again. Okay, the light's not coming on anymore, but it sounds like the fridge is doing something. I keep looking at it. Temperature goes down 1 degree again. And everything I just described to you happens over the span of about half an hour. Eventually, I just have to go on the trust system that eventually this fridge is going to do its job. But I had some lukewarm water. And we just stay up, like, watching videos. Talked about setting up the game system, but that didn't actually happen. And then we didn't necessarily properly go to sleep as much as just happen to be laying on a bed and then pass out. And that is how we get to Friday. Now, I will note that there was a schedule posted for JAFAX. So we had some idea of what Casey was doing, but we didn't have official confirmation of it. But more important than that, one of the first things I do when I regain consciousness is I roll out of bed and I immediately go to the fridge. Open up the cabinet door. Temperature is 42 degrees again. So, I don't know what happened yesterday, but the fridge is working properly again. So we're all good.
What do you want me to do? Here.
Here.
Now, I used to do, like, more in-depth reviews of the rooms for events like these, but for this one, I feel compelled to focus specifically on the shower. First of all, the bathroom as a whole, even by bathroom standards, was an echo chamber. Like, I just gently set down a bottle of soap on the counter, and I heard the echo that didn't fully dissipate for a solid 4 or 5 seconds. But as for the shower itself, I would give this like maybe a 4 out of 10. You can shower in it, and it looks nice. But the only place to have a towel outside of it is next to the toilet, as far away as possible from the door to get into the shower. Like, you cannot reach it from there unless you're like 7.5 feet tall and have the proper wingspan. Another thing, there's this little alcove for shampoo. There are no shelves. Just this like tiny little hole that they put some like travel-sized things into. And it was just barely small enough to fit my shampoo bottles. And even then, I had to like take the stuff that was already there, crunch it over to one side, and then carefully slide my bottles in. And as you might expect from a hotel shower, the water flow was not great. But I think that's kind of expected at this point.
At your command. JAFAX.
So eventually, we get ready in the room and we realize, oh shit, opening ceremonies are in 15 minutes. We don't know if we're supposed to do that, but we figure, fuck it, we head downstairs. And we start trying to make our way to the event space. The elevator takes us down to the first floor because we couldn't stop at the second for some reason. Well, the reason is it didn't directly connect to the part of the second floor we needed to get to. So we head all the way down, walk to the lobby, and then up a flight of stairs. And we end up in what is the hotel's event space, which is for a different event. What kind of event? Well, we couldn't really tell. All we knew was there were a bunch of tables set up in this big open space right next to the stairs. There were some ballrooms next to us that were open, also had tables set up. And also in the middle of the floor that we were walking across was a gigantic replica of the Declaration of Independence. Which, when you also consider that the weird, like, spooky, like, feel from when I walked in the skywalk and the blatantly, like, haunted house style decor on the floor we were staying on, nothing's adding up about this place. Also, I am just waving my hands in front of my computer, and I don't know why. I think that's just a side effect of trying to explain all this. But we start heading, we cut through this event space, and we get into the skywalk. Well, a skywalk. This particular part of the skywalk was extremely hot, and there was a smell like there was a dead body hidden in one of the AC units. So that was fun to deal with for the entire weekend. We get out of that skywalk and make a turn. And as we're making a turn, there are these seats in one corner, and there's a guy sitting on the corner on one of those seats. We didn't realize this at the time, but by Sunday, when we were heading to the event space, we go, that same guy has been sitting there every day, every time we go through this hallway. What the fuck is going on? We didn't care enough to find out. We just moved on. But eventually we see what is obviously a couple of weebs coming down this one hall, so we figure, okay, we're in the right place. We go in their general direction, and the hall splits. And there's a thing marked Skywalk, so we go into that. And the style of the building / Skywalk we're in suddenly completely changes. So we're like, okay, this is a little weird, but we keep going. And then we get to another point where it branches off again, and the style completely changes between these two branches again. And we're like, okay, where the hell are we supposed to go? We're in the Skywalk nexus of sorts. So we just pulled up fucking maps and used GPS and realized we had been walking in the wrong direction the entire time. So we found a skywalk, but not the correct skywalk to get to the event space. We're like, fuck, we backtrack, we take a different path, and that one does lead us to the proper location.
What should I do?
Command me.
Yes?
Ready.
Ready when you are.
Ready.
Oh shit. So we managed to get to the con center. We actually come out on the second floor. We have to go down to the first floor to get to the registration desk and get our badge situation figured out. By which I mean we just didn't have badges at all, and we needed to get the guest badges. So we go up to... And in retrospect, I feel bad for this guy. But we get up to the registration desk. We say oh, hey, we need badges. Casey explains they're one of the guests there. And this guy looks at the pre-reg attendee database and a list next to him, and he goes, okay, what's your name? And Casey says their name. He goes and looks at the lists again, and he goes, I don't see the name. Meanwhile, I'm behind, off to the side of them. I pull up my phone, I go to JAFAX's website, because on the front page is a big-ass picture of Casey announcing that they're going to be a guest there, and I just show him that. And that's when it hits him, oh shit. And the other person working registration next to him was like, I didn't want to say anything, but how many guest badges do you need?
Aye?
On your word.
God. Oh, that was such an awkward moment for him. But, yeah, we got the guest badge situation handled. And once we did that, because we still had some time before we actually had to go to the event space and set up, we headed out of the event space and we're waiting for one of Casey's buddies to give us a ride to a coffee shop. And as soon as we set foot outside, we hear sirens. Not police, ambulance, or fire sirens, but those air raid weather alert sirens. And as someone who's in the Midwest, I am intimately familiar with those sirens because I hear them here every now and then. Because they will frequently test those to make sure they're working in case shit goes down. But having that coupled with the weird-ass hotel we were staying in, it kind of gave off Silent Hill vibes. But we eventually meet up with a friend, and we head out to this place called Heritage Coffee.
On your word.
And it was a nice, intimate little coffee place. They didn't just do coffee. They also had, like, some baked goods that you could get. I don't think I actually got anything at that time because I had brought some bagels, and I just had one of those just to get me started with the day. Also, I'm not really a coffee drinker. But once we were done there, we headed back to the event space and went into the exhibit hall to see where autographs were set up. And I will say, the placement of the autograph tables was actually kind of ideal. Because the moment you walk into the exhibit hall, one of the first things you see is, like, slightly to the left of you are the autograph tables for the guests. And then beyond that is a setup for indie games that were on display. And then beyond them was the dealer space and the artist alley. The only thing that was a little weird about the setup was there was like like some pipes and curtains behind the autograph space, but there was absolutely nothing behind those pipes and curtains, and so there was no space to like store anything or like duck back behind a curtain if you needed to. No, you pull back the curtain and the food court is right there. That's my only real issue with it, was there's no, like, hideaway space. But, other than that, it was fine. Although there is one other thing, which is, we had to set up the autograph space, which means getting all the prints out and getting the banner hung, from the pipes and drapes. Usually, events will have like hooks that you can use, because a lot of these banners have like ringlets set into them that you can use to like put a hook in and then hook it over the top of the pipes and drapes. They didn't have those here. What they did have was zip ties, which solved the problem in the moment, but did lead to some complications later.
What should I do?
Also, I am really bad at trying to play this and talk at the same time.
Ready. You can't see me.
Nice critical.
Here to serve.
Here.
On your word.
Eh?
So as we are still setting up, and I'm like standing on a chair zip tying this banner onto the pipes and drapes, people come up to the autograph table. Fortunately, they were not looking for prints, but they did get some personal stuff signed, like as we were still setting up. So we do finally get like properly set up. do a bit more signing. Eventually the time comes when lunch break happens, because they did actually work like lunch breaks into the schedule. And fairly long lunch breaks too, so you could actually like go out and like have something local and then come back instead of just bumming it at the food court the entire time. So we meet up with Casey's buddies and we head to this place called Two Beards. And the thing about this place is it's a sandwich shop, and all of the sandwiches at this place are named after people with beards. I almost got the George Carlin while I was there, but I changed my mind at the last second and I got the Jim Henson. And you know what? The Jim Henson was delicious. It had like corned beef and Swiss and the sauce on it, and it was really good. That said, the sandwiches were kind of big, and neither of us could finish ours. I think we both got like halfway through and said, we're just going to take the rest of these, throw them in the hotel fridge, and just have them for later. Now, at the same time we're thinking that, we're walking back to the event space. Casey has a panel with those local friends to do a panel about dubbing for visual novels. So at this point, we split off. Casey goes with the friends to help set up the panel. I go to the hotel room to drop the sandwiches off in the fridge. And I'm still thinking at this point, don't fuck with me, fridge. You better not fuck me this time. But I get back up to the hotel room, check the fridge. It's still working as intended. It's actually even colder than before. It's 40 degrees now. Which I'm like, yes, it's working, but also, I hope it doesn't keep dropping and just freeze everything inside, because that's also counterproductive. So I get the sandwiches in the fridge, head back down, take the very long walk back through the declaration of other event to a skywalk, make another turn, get on another skywalk, go down this long hallway, and then eventually make my way to the panel rooms. Now, along the way, I noticed that there were a couple things set up, like sort of in the big-ass middle space that is between the vendor hall and like the panel rooms, main events, all that stuff. And in this space, there were two things going on. First of all, there is a sword fighting and sparring arena that's set up. And then a short distance away from that, there is a sumo ring set up. So they not only had this like sword fighting group there, they also had dudes who were doing sumo. And yes, they were dressed appropriately. But we get to the panel. Well, I get to the panel. They were already there.
Ready.
And, if I remember correctly, and I might be wrong about this, it may have been kind of a last-second addition to the schedule, but there were some people who showed up, including a couple of people who were making a visual novel of their own. So they were legit there for, like, information, tips on how they could do that with their visual novel. So it ended up being a pretty productive panel. We checked back in with the event space for a little bit, and I realized that in this big-ass area, they also crammed in like some gaming setups and a small collection of arcade machines. And there are some of the usual suspects there, like they had rhythm games like Sound Voltex, U-Beats. There was another one I wrote it later in the notes, so I'll get back to it. There were a couple initial D machines, but the thing that caught my eye was they had a Time Crisis machine. Not just any Time Crisis machine, Time Crisis 1. I've seen Time Crisis like 3 or 4 everywhere, especially if you go to like a Dave & Buster's or a Round 1 or something like that. This was the original Time Crisis. Time Crisis 2 was your I remember Time Crisis 2 being a fun time as well. But once the day is more or less done, we meet up with the visual novel friends again, and we all head out to this local place called KCM. Which, it's like, how do I describe it? It's a ramen place, but it doesn't just do ramen. They also have like some Korean dishes. They have some non-ramen Japanese options. I was boring and I got chicken katsu. But yeah, because these friends were local, they basically knew all the good food places. So we were never particularly worried about like having a meh dinner or lunch or anything like that. Or like going to a place that's going to be too busy and then running out of time and not being able to eat anything. So we actually ended up hanging out at one of the friends' places for a little bit. Before it got kind of late in the day, we wound up going back to the hotel. And I brought a PS2 that we could set up to play video games at the hotel. And the last couple of times we did this, it was kind of a pain in the ass to set up. For like getting to the HDMI port, because like most TVs don't have AV hookups anymore. Switching the inputs, finding ways to deal with like input delay, some like make it a huge pain in the ass to get access to those options at all. And then there was the TV in this hotel. Because I brought an adapter, I brought the AV hookups for the PS2, and I was going to run them through this box that would convert the signal to HDMI, and then we took the HDMI cable up. And our plan was basically to just unhook the HDMI cable that's in there for the cable / hotel TV options, plug in the HDMI cable, and then deal with like controller input lag for whatever. But Casey takes one look behind this TV and goes, I see AV ports. Naturally, I don't believe them because it's been ages since I've seen AV ports on a hotel TV, but sure enough, they're in there. And I'm like, okay, let's not get our hopes up. We need to confirm they actually work and that we're able to switch to the AV input with the remote. So we get the AV cables hooked up. We get the remote. There is a function button. The function button lets us change the inputs on the TV. We switch it to AV. We have PS2 signal, and there is no input delay. It was the best possible scenario. It might never happen again, but for that one glorious con, we were able to play PS2, zero fuss, no weird shit like the volume getting jacked up to 100 every time you turn the TV on with the input switched, which did happen at a couple of hotels. We could just play video games, zero issues. And for that particular night, we wound up playing what accidentally became a staple of events like this, aggressive inline. Which I feel like I'm going to have to make a video on that at some point. Like even just a moment or something, because I'm becoming way more familiar with that than I ever thought I would.
On your word.
Ready when you are.
Yes?
Quickest to get the cheapest hotel again. You're unfortunately right, because the more pricier hotels are also going to upcharge everything. And if you don't go for the upcharges, you're naturally just going to get a worse, well, everything. Oh my god, that actually worked.
You to Sam.
I expect if you're staying there, your company is paying for it, or you can afford the upcharge. Well, okay. I want to use that to transition into something, but we're not there yet, so I'm going to hold off on it. So we just basically played aggressive inline into the night, and then eventually fell asleep. Also, I can't remember if this is the night that I introduced Casey to Game Changer from Dropout. But I may have to bring more of those videos for con stays, just for background noise and cheap laughs. And thus we get into Saturday. I think I was awake at like 8:30, 9 o'clock, somewhere in that time frame. I get in the shower, and I didn't notice this before, but as I'm showering, there's this weird tone that's coming through the wall, and it changes pitch, and it sounds like an ocarina that only has 2 notes as you're showering.
I salute you.
Ready.
Can you sing?
But once that's done, we both head down and we head out for coffee again with some friends. If I remember correctly, this was when we went to the place that also had, like, breakfast sandwiches. If I remember correctly, I think I had a ham and egg sandwich, which was pretty damn good, and also pretty damn filling. Because I didn't feel like eating again for a while. We head back to the event space, and we go to our autograph table. And we still have all the prints there and everything. But we realize all of the markers are gone. And we're like, wait. What happened with the markers? Because, like, obviously, you need markers and pens to sign shit. But at the same time, the walk from there back to our room at the hotel is so goddamn long that neither of us want to actually go back there and see if we accidentally left them in the room. We're like, ah, shit, what do we do now? I have some things in my messenger bag that I take to these events for certain situations that tend to come up. And some of the things I had were I had a couple of paint pens. And just regular ass pens too. So we actually borrowed like a black Sharpie from another table, but I broke out these 2 paint pens. One was copper, one was silver. And I break out the copper one, shake it up, try to write with it, and liquid comes out. Not even paint, just liquid. It looked like water. And I don't know why it did that. I had like some paper with me, like sheets of paper, and I'm messing with this copper pen, trying to get it to like work properly, like paint, and it's not. It's just like shooting out brown water over and over and over, and we can't get it working. So I'm like, well, fuck. I hope the silver one works, or we're screwed for a little bit. Break out the silver one, shake it up, try to get the tip working, and it works perfectly fine. So we're like, okay, good. We have a paint pen. We have a black Sharpie. Let's see if we can make this last, at least until we can get back up to the hotel room to get the rest of the markers back. And the black Sharpie and that silver paint pen covered the entire day.
Ready for orders.
Speak.
And you know what? That silver paint pen also wound up covering most of Sunday as well, so it was an absolute trooper. Unlike that piece of shit copper pen.
Ready when you are. Pardon?
So anyway, we signed for a bit, and then the lunch period comes around. God, I said lunch period like it's fucking high school. We meet up with Casey's friends, and we just walk out of the event space and down the road to this place called, I think it was Noodle Pig Ramen or something like that. But they're very clearly leaning into the anime aesthetic with this, because they have 2 displays above where you order. One of them has the menu on it, and the other is just playing like food porn clips from Studio Ghibli movies. Also, at least one of the employees behind the counter was cosplaying. Now, like I said before, I wasn't particularly hungry coming over here, so I just had like some rice, and they had fries that were seasoned with furikake, which is something I never thought to do, but it works really well. I'm gonna have to try that myself at some point.
Ready.
Command me.
What should I do?
Command me.
I should also note that the walk to and from this restaurant was very on brand for me and Casey, because right along the road was a skate park. And there were some people using it at the time. Like I remember there was this one dude who was trying to land like a backside kickflip off of a hip. And he was like just barely not landing it. He probably landed it the moment we stopped seeing him. And something else I should note, I'm rewinding time a little bit. Friday night, when we went back to our room the final time, We head back through that event space with the giant Declaration of Independence, and it is a sea of old people in suits. Old people everywhere, suits everywhere. We have no idea what's going on. It's very difficult to tell at a glance what this event is actually supposed to be. Like, there's no, like, prominent name for the event posted anywhere. But we get through them, head down the stairs. There's even more old people in suits, like around the hotel bar and in the hallway that we go down to get to the elevators. And I'm telling you all of that to tell you that once we got back from the ramen place and then eventually decided to head back to the hotel room before Casey had another panel to do, the Declaration of Independence was gone. I mean the replica one, not the actual, well, you know. However, there were still tables out. Different tables. And there were a couple other tables that had, like, name tags placed out on them. And there were these, like, poster-sized paper things that were face down on these tables. Except for one. Which, it had, like, pencil sketches of more old people in suits on it. And there was some kind of, like, emblem that was drawn on it. It said, like, oh god, what did it say? It was something to the effect of, like... Hold on, I'm trying to pull it up on my phone. Oh, yeah, that's what it said. There was an emblem, like, on a plaque that this old dude was holding. And it said, Gospel through motion. Also, the scaling on it was very weird because one of the old guys in suits kind of looked like the Trololo guy, but his head was like 2 times too small for his body. So this guy looks like he is 80% suit jacket. Also, one of the old guys in the back looks like a disappointed Kelsey Grammer. Anyway, it was on that trip that we got back to the hotel room and realized, oh yeah, the markers were in fact just left back in the hotel room by accident. Well, shit. Grab those, head back, because Casey has a Q&A panel to do. Now, once upon a time at ZenkaiCon, I just, out of pure, why the hell not energy, asked a question in Monster Hunter language.
Yeah?
And I bring that up because guess what I did at this panel? And I will say, before the panel actually happened, Casey was like, don't do it. Don't do it. And I did it.
What?
Ready.
Now the thing is, Casey told me not to do it. The moment I started talking in Monster Hunter language, they were like, next question. But I did get the question out, and to Casey's credit, they did respond in Monster Hunter language. Now you might be saying, wait a minute, there's no Monster Hunter language option in Wilds. How do they know how to do that? Think about that. Anyway, there weren't as many people asking questions about that, like at this panel, so I'm like, well shit, is there anything else I could ask? And I did come up with like one more joke question, and then I ended with a legit question. Which was along the lines of like, favorite or most underrated skateboard or inline trick. And their answer for inline was, I think, the soul grind. And their answer for skateboarding was the Casper slide. Which I'm not as familiar with inline, so I don't know about the soul grind, but on the Casper slide front, I completely agree. Oh, we are not going to get a break between battles, are we? Nope, probably not. Gonna make sure I'm far enough away.
Yes?
What can I do?
Damn, I can't use any of these? What the fuck is the point then? Oh. All right. We do make progress after all.
Eh?
So, the panel ends, and I don't know what it was, but like, once we'd finished this panel and gone through the rest of the obligations for the day, both Casey and I went back to the hotel room and hard crashed. Like, both of us just passed out for a couple hours at least. I was the one who woke up first,
Very good.
and in keeping with tradition that we had established for the weekend, I just fired up aggressive inline again. And a note about that, I wound up getting to the final level of aggressive inline. Or at least the last, like, I don't know if there's a hidden stage in it or anything, but I got to the last stage that you can see, like, on the end of the level ticker. And it's actually as I am playing aggressive inline that, look, aggressive inline is kind of a janky game. I'm not going to sugarcoat that part of it. And while I was playing this, I was at this point where I was trying to go up a staircase that led to a locked door. A locked door I did not have the key for. So, as I'm going up to the staircase, I just say, whatever, and I do a wall ride. This apparently really confused the game. Because I do this wall ride, and suddenly my character, like, rockets through the floor and ends up in a hallway that I have never seen before. And as I start moving around, I realize, wait a minute, my character got through that locked door, but the hallway has other locked doors in it, and I can't open any of them. So I had effectively soft-locked myself in there. Once both of us had regained consciousness and had our wits about us, we met up with one of Casey's friends, because the others were also getting kind of tired. And we walk out through Grand Rapids, and we head to this place. Oh, I should note, the guy who voices the Magic Mouth in this, if I remember correctly, he was revealed recently as the voice of Carnage in that Marvel whatever fighting game thing. So we walk through part of Grand Rapids, and we end up at this like bar and pub grub place called I think it's Brick and Porter. And they also have some interestingly named things there that you can eat. They have sandwiches, obviously, but they also had specifically some mac and cheese options. And I went with this thing called Wilbur's Last Squeal. It's mac and cheese with pulled pork and barbecue sauce, and also like little shreds of bacon. And it was amazing.
Tell me, what falls in the fall? The color of ruby and rain. Then bring me the number that will, by itself, be multiplied by 9.
Number multiplied by itself, that becomes 9. 3, obviously. And what falls in the fall? The color of ruby and wine. And my problem is, I am completely blanking on this puzzle. Like, obviously I've solved it before, but I can't remember how I solved it. The components of health and happiness. Ah, there we go. What falls in the fall? So it had to be like a plant or a leaf of some kind. And I'd been picking those up, so that makes sense. So instead of just driving back immediately, the friend that Casey and I had been hanging out with comes back to us at the hotel for a little bit. Oh, this is a trap. Well, shit. So, as this friend is at the hotel now, I break out some of the rando picks for PS2 games that I brought with me to the hotel. And one of them was a game called Extermination. It's a... God, how do I even describe this? It's a little bit Metal Gear Solid. It's a little bit... it's difficult to describe. It's a little bit... Resident Evil, I guess? It's a little bit, Okay, here's the point. It's bad. And, the voice acting in particular was hurting us. But then I decided to switch that out for something that wasn't necessarily better in that regard. I had already shown Casey Vampire Knight before. But I figured, well, this friend probably hasn't seen it, so let's show him that. And laughter ensued. Laughter and a lot of groaning at like the various line reads. Eventually, said friend goes home, and we pack it in for the night. And then Sunday comes. We wake up early to pack, because, like, our checkout would be while we were still at the event. For me, that means packing up and then also hauling my crap to my car. Once we do all of that, though, we still have time to meet up with the same friend from the previous night. And we end up eating breakfast at this place called Social Misfits. And it is another place that has a very particular theme for, like, its various food items. And I had, like, these stuffed waffle stick things called the Ramon. Oh my god, I'm completely blanking on this now. Why am I completely blanking on this now? So, we get back to the signing space, and we're prepping to do, like, one of the last bits of signing for the event as a whole. And as we are doing this, I didn't mention this, but directly across from us was a drink place called Wild Bill's. And there was someone in line for Wild Bill's who had a baby stroller with them. And the baby in this stroller would not stop crying. Of course, because it's a baby, I don't just mean crying, I mean unholy shrieking. I don't know how long exactly it went on for, except to say that it was too long. But once that is dealt with, we have a few signings throughout the day, and eventually we get to a point where these two people come up to the table. One of them is holding one of those sleeves that has like art prints in it, and they turn it around, and it is an art print that, like, it was a Chill Truck art print from Dungeon Meshi that had already been signed by Casey. And we're like, okay, what the... And then this person says, we found this next to one of the tables in Artist Alley, and it didn't look like anyone was taking it, so... yeah, if they come by here, could you possibly get this back to them? And we're like, oh, shit. Yeah, we'll try to do that. Now, if this particular print didn't have a name attached to it, like, it had a dedication of to, and then the alias this person went by, if it weren't for that, we probably would not have any indication of who this actually belonged to. But there was a name written there, and I, like, just barely remembered that,
Yes?
there was this one person who had, like, purple hair and, like, a face mask that had, like, a skull printed on it. And I was, like, 80 to 90% sure that that was the person that this belonged to. And this is where the positioning of the autograph table was actually pretty advantageous. Because we could just, like, keep an eye out from where we were at the entrance and exit to the exhibit hall. And see if we saw that person either walking past our table, walking toward the food court, or exiting the exhibit hall. Or coming into the exhibit hall. Because, point being, we had a good vantage point to potentially see and stop them.
Here.
Eh?
Huh. Weird. So anyway, we're going throughout the day. One of Casey's other friends, one who doesn't have any obligation to, like, stay by the autograph table, unlike us, takes the print and starts winding his way through Artist Alley and the dealer space to see if he can find, like, who this print might belong to, and then get it back to them. A little bit of time goes by. Eventually, he comes back to the table still with the print. Okay, I don't know what that was about. And shortly after he comes back, I see a person walk by. They're walking from our table toward the dealer space. And I'm thinking, I know that person got something signed from us before, but I don't think that's who it is. And then around the same time that happens, I, like, peek back toward the food court, and I see this person walking around, who has purple hair. But their back is facing me, so I don't have a good viewpoint on, like, if they have the mask that I remember them having. I'm like, maybe? And then I notice they're going through the food court back toward the exit of the exhibit hall. And as they do that, just for a moment I can see them in profile. They're wearing a face mask that looks like it has a skull print on it. And at that point, I just say out loud, I think that's them. And then I grab the art print, get out from behind the table as fast as I can, and start like hustling to get over to them. Now I don't catch up to them immediately. They actually make it toward the desk where like registration and like also the lost and found would be. And they walk to one of the people running the lost and found. And they go, like, I'm standing like kind of behind and off to the side of them when they get there and ask this, but they say, hey, has anyone stopped by with a signed Dungeon Meshi print? And then I just kind of go, like, I'm just standing behind them and I just go, is it this one? And they turn around, see me holding up the like art print bag with a signed Dungeon Meshi print in it, and they go, yes! So, thankfully, crisis averted on that front. And I explained just like, yeah, someone found it in the artist space, took it to our table, and we'd been on the lookout for you for a little bit now. And they met up with, like, we both walked back in the general direction of the exhibit hall, but they did that to meet up with a friend of theirs. And just explained that, like, I'd gotten their Dungeon Meshi print back to them, and I wasn't even thinking. I just did the, you know that, like, image of, like, the dude who does the peace out move and then fades away? That's kind of what I did, except instead of fading away, I just kept walking to the exhibit hall. So, more time goes by. Eventually, time comes when we wrap up the signings. And we hang out for just a little bit at, like, a couple of the rhythm games. Because another one of Casey's friends was there and was pretty good at this one rhythm game called, and I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, Chunithm. It's a rhythm game where the input is like a keyboard. But it's not like individual keys, it's like a couple, like 4 gridded off sections of a keyboard. And you have to like press the right region, you can do slides between the regions. It also has like a vertical distance sensor, so you can like dramatically lift off the keys or like motion your hands down toward the keys for certain notes to register. And as we are heading out, we meet up with like the main desk for the con, which is near registration. Contribute some signed things for a raffle that they're doing. And also do a couple of signings for like various people on staff. And one of those people on staff was the dude from the registration desk that I mentioned earlier. And he was still really apologetic about what had happened. But like, I mean, it wasn't a huge deal in the end. We weren't exactly worried about not getting badges for the event that Casey had been invited to.
Watch it, or we'll meet like a... Then you'll be sorry.
So, time passes, and our time at the convention is eventually done. So, we head out, and we all agree that we're going to meet up at this place called, what was it? Hopcat.
An house and column and row, just one of each shall you bestow. An house and column and row, just one of each shall you bestow.
House and column and row, one of each shall you bestow. Well, that narrows it down. Anyway, we get to Hopcat, which is a restaurant that's fairly removed from where the event took place. It's not really in the city of Grand Rapids, more on the outskirts. And almost as soon as we sit down, a baby starts crying nearby. Because of course it does. And it is as we are at this place that I'm looking through the menu, and I get, like, I think it was a turkey sandwich and fries. And the person taking our order says, did you want a little cup of cheese with that? And I go, oh yeah, sure. And as I say that, I hear Casey go, oh no. You're not going to do it, are you? See, I wasn't even thinking of that at the time. I wasn't even thinking about how the last couple of events, anytime I got something that had like a little container of cheese, I would shoot it. And if Casey hadn't said anything, this would have been a perfectly normal dinner. But the moment Casey says that, I'm like, oh yeah. Well, I know what I gotta do now. So the food comes out. There's a little cheese container. I actually let it cool a bit because it was a little warm. And I do a shot of cheese. So, it was at that restaurant that I said my goodbyes from the group because Casey was going to hang out with the friends and then depart later. So I started driving from there. And I was driving for a while. I got to a point where the fuel light for my car kicked on. And at the same time as the fuel light kicked on, I felt my stomach churn a bit. And I got... You know, sometimes your body gives you messages? Well, I got a message from my body. And this is a bit TMI. And it went something like this. Hey, not for nothing, but, in approximately 10 minutes, you're going to shit. And it doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing at the time. It's going to happen. So you might as well do something about it. So, and that's happening at the same time my fuel light comes on. So I'm like, just keeping an eye out for the first exit that has a gas station near it. A few minutes later, it comes. And I have that quandary of, do I get the fuel first or use the restroom in the station first? I decided that restroom took priority, because if I wait and then somebody else gets into the restroom and doesn't get out fast enough, I'm screwed. I get into the station, go to the restroom, it's open. It is only, like, instead of there being like a stall and a urinal or something, it is just a single room bathroom with one toilet in it. You get in, you lock the door, do your thing. And it's in that moment that I'm thinking, I close the door, I hit the lock on it. The lock is kind of spongy. And I'm like, wait, the lock does work, right? But I don't have much time to think about it because, you know, I'm on a timer here. So I go, well, fuck it, and let's just say in the middle of it, I found out whether or not the lock worked. Thankfully, it did. But even if it didn't, thankfully, that happened, like, as I was about to wash my hands. So I keep driving. I got held up by construction multiple times, which wound up delaying me for like an hour, if not more. But I did eventually, finally make it home. And that was my JAFAX. And now I have to get this figured out. That's not gonna work. Shit. There we go. Okay, that fixes the floor. Good. There's a save point right there. I'm just going to play this out a little bit so that I can... Oh, there is a hidden passage here. Okay, now I'm in switch hunt mode. Ah. Damn it! That is not useful for the party members that I have now. Shit. Oh, this is gonna be a mess. Well, it has to be that one, because otherwise this row doesn't work. And then by process of elimination, it has to be that one. Okay, that matches up here. Although I might have to reverse these. Actually, yeah, I do have to reverse these. There we go. Maybe? Maybe that can be useful? Let's see. That's practitioner specific. Although, it would be useful for him.
Again? What are we doing?
Ah, damn it. It's a strength boost for him,
What is it that you want?
but it's also a significant upgrade for him. I'll give it to him. Don't disappoint me.
Yep. You can't see me.
We are not to be taken lightly.
Yeah, I see one of those things, so gotta be something around here.
This isn't funny. Hey, I can see your bald spot from up here. Are you laughing at us? We are not to be taken lightly.
Alright, wasn't expecting to keep going this much after the fact, but here we are.
This isn't funny.
There we go. wall there, which means there's a switch nearby. Wasn't in the other passage, was it? That's a very real possibility. That's... Hmm. That's gonna annoy the hell out of me. Anytime I see like something that looks like a passage that can be opened and I don't quite know how to get to it, it lingers in my mind. You know what though?
Are you laughing at us? We are not to be taken lightly.
And there's still that Frau Heidi hole thing that I still have not figured out yet. Oh, there you are.
Hey, I can see your bald spot. Oh, Gloria! Oh. Oh. Are you laughing at us? We are not to be taken lightly.
Hmm. I will have to come back to that later. It's getting kind of late. Yeah, I don't expect there's going to be a whole lot in here.
Time to hide.
It's going to be just enough to keep me playing for a bit.
Ready when you are.
Oh shit.
Away I go. We can take him. You can't see me.
Go on, I see him.
Speak.
Here. Time to hide. Ready, I suppose.
At your command.
I forgot to load up on drinks. Oh, this is gonna be a pain in the ass to do then.
Slammed. Jug, jug, jug.
Ready.
Now what?
Here.
Good crit. Good crit.
On your word.
Culpa etosa. Gelonet gases fiates.
Here.
A grandum proximo nit ferte.
At your command. Not bad.
Aye. What do you want me to do? Ready when you are.
Here to serve.
What should I do?
Now what?
Ready.
Yes?
I don't know what the hell he's thinking. What? I don't know what the hell he's thinking. What? I don't know what the hell he's thinking. What?
Shit, thank you, Nightman, for the raid. I already got through the explanation of the con, and now I'm just trying to wrap this up. But I keep finding shit before I can, like, save and end the stream.
Ready.
Potestas maxime corrupit. Flames.
You'll never get me. Never.
Speak.
Good crit.
Command me.
Sista
On
potandones.
your word.
Yeah?
Ready for orders. Loading.
Good.
Ready, I suppose.
Here to serve.
Okay.
Here.
Not the best position, but not the worst.
I'll make you eat those words. I am invincible. My head.
Ready for orders.
Get out of my...
Eh? Spirit and tongue. Away I go.
Okay. Okay, maybe that can actually be useful. I vaguely remember this puzzle. But I cannot do that right now. There you are. I'll be. Get out of here. Save, and we're done. Oh, it'll allow me to save again. Good, because I forgot to handle my equipment first.
Here.
What are we doing?
How may I serve?
Eh?
Oh, it's a longbow, so it has to be in the main slot. Well, shit, I can't do that.
What can I do?
Yep.
How may I help?
Now what?
Oh. Just remembered. Where is the recipe for alcohol? There it is. There. Will not make that mistake again. Oh. Do I not have? Hold on, that can't be right. 1 second.
Aye.
What do you need?
Hmm?
Again?
Here.
Oh wow, yeah, nobody had a healing item equipped. That's not good.
Now what? Eh?
Eh?
Ready.
Eh?
I need that more than I need to levitate a bit. Mouse PI has been a fun time. I've heard good things about it. Just one of the many games that is on my list of things to get to. And speaking of things I need to get to, sleep. I'm heading out of town Thursday. I may try and squeeze in one more stream before then, but I don't know if I'll have the time for it. But as for what we're doing now, let's see. Looks like Blondie is still streaming Star Fox 2. Let me just make sure he's not wrapping things up. Although even if he is wrapping things up, I might just raid him anyway. It looks like he might be. Which means I have to input the raid command really fast. Alright, let's do it. Thanks for hanging out, and see you at the next one. Later.